This is a SKAA transmitter. It transmits wirelessly without any of the drawbacks of Bluetooth over a bigger distance and with less latency, to the point where DJing with it is completely fine, with a couple of caveats. And to complete a transmitter that you plug into your DJ gear, you're going to need a receiver. Well, that's the fun bit of this review, because this review is about these units here. This has been around for a while, but I haven't had a chance to play with this as you see it here until now. These are the tops and the subs, called quite amusingly Death from Above and Death from Below. The company that makes this has designed to go with it. They have the receivers built in, so all you need is one of these boxes to plug into your DJ gear and this PA system, and you've got no wires at all. But even better than that, they are battery powered. You plug them in and charge them. You can leave them plugged in if you want, so you can power them directly from the electricity supply if you want. However, the batteries last for a long time. The sub can last between 5 and about 20 odd hours, depending on how hard you push it, and the top's even longer. So you're going to easily get to the end of the longest gig by one charge on these things. So this is it, the complete PA system from Dillinger Labs that shows off their SKAA wireless system and also what they envisage DJs wanting the most from this whole setup. In this review, I'm going to talk you through what we got here. I'm going to talk you through the units. We're going to have a close-up of them. We'll talk about the SKAA system a bit more, and I'll tell you my likes and dislikes having played with it for a little while out here on the Digital DJ Tips balcony in the glorious sunshine. It's 30 degrees. I don't know what that is in old money, but take it from me. It's warm out here. Let's see if we can get it warm and loud as well. All right, we're going to start off then by talking a little bit more about this transmitter. So the transmitter is a metal box. It charges via USB-C at the back here. It's got the SKAA on-off and volume control here. And it's also got this transmitter aerial here that you can buy a better one of, but this one goes a long distance as it is. That's the controls on that side. Over on this side, we've got our professional controls for attenuating the signal here, and we've also got our professional inputs, but also through. So you could link into this as part of the signal chain and then send it off somewhere else as well, which is all very nice. We've reviewed these before. These have been around for a while. These are actually available since we first reviewed the Soundbox speakers, because the Soundbox speakers out of Europe also use SKAA. So this is the transmitter, right? You can buy these in various permutations. This is the one we're using here. So that's that part of it. But what about the speakers themselves? How does the signal get from here to there? Well, they don't call it pairing like with Bluetooth, because it's ridiculously silly how easy it is to pair them, or to bond them, which is what they call it. Basically, you turn it on and they all find each other. That's exactly what I did before hitting record on this video. I turned on all the units here and I hit play on the music and they just all started playing. If you've ever grappled with trying to get Bluetooth working on PA speakers just to play some background music or whatever, or indeed in your own home, you might appreciate how good that is. So that's the first thing. Ridiculously easy to just turn it on and get it going. You can press a button on the speakers and say, okay, remember my transmitter, then it'll always prefer your transmitter. If you're in a situation where there's lots of these around at the moment, you're probably going to be the only one for miles around who's got one. So no problems on that front at all. All right, so turning it on and getting it working is ridiculously easy. Let's go and have a look at the speakers though, and what controls we've got on there, or rather, what controls we haven't got on there. So this is the Death from Above. You can change those grills. They are a three-way speaker. So you've got the cone there, you've got your small speakers for the other frequencies. So that's why the sub is good to have with this. And then down at the bottom here, I think it's rather strange. They've got the controls around the front of the speaker. So they're going to need to be speakers in a position where you can kind of keep an eye on them, I think. That just strikes me as a little bit weird. Should have been around the back, possibly. Anyway, here's your controls. So that knob at the top is the knob that controls the SKAA. This is pressable to do various bits and pieces like mute the speakers, pair them and all that kind of stuff. However, you don't need to know that, because when you turn it on here, you get the light to tell you you've got the power, and this light here tells you it's paired. Now it's on an orange color at the moment. If that was on green, it would mean it was hooked into our preferred transmitter, and you can cycle through your transmitters with this as well. It's all listed in the manual, but you don't really need any of it, because when you turn it on, like I say, it just works. This doubles up as a volume control as well for the speaker. This is your power input. You can also tap here to see how much battery you've got here. Your power input comes with a brick. Again, I would like to have seen the adapter built into it and have that as an IEC. It just means there's less chance of you losing things or whatever. However, you can plug in there and charge when you're going along as well at a push. So that's worth knowing. And that's really it for the speaker. It's got rubbery feet if you want to place it on the surface and not have it on a pole like this. But around the back, there's nothing else. I've literally shown you everything there is to see and know about the speakers. They are pretty damn simple. They're well made. They've got that kind of gorilla grip at the back so that you can carry them around, and they've got a decent heft to them. But of course, being wireless, you can put them wherever you want, which is part of the attraction of this PA system. So we're going to now move down and take a look at the sub. So they sell these poles here, they're just standard poles. You can also get one pole that splits in two at the top, so you could put two of the tops on top of one sub, but I've got two subs here. So we've actually looked at this sub before, but this is a production version of it with a few changes. They simplified some of the controls basically. So as you can see, you've got your two decent beefy drivers in there, protected by these kind of sort of a grill. You've kind of got these fins here to protect them. Again, maybe a little bit too exposed for some. Maybe I'm just being too careful with my analysis of that. And again, the controls are on the front here. Curious, I'd say. Exactly the same controls though. You can pair, you can mute, you can do all other things by just double, treble, 5 times, 6 times tapping this knob here, and again that's your volume control, but nothing else different down here. I mean, it really is very simple the way they've engineered this. So turn it on, adjust the volume controls to your liking, and that's literally it. All right, so back to where we were. I have my trusty MP3 player and my SKAA Pro transmitter here with a slight concoction of cables to get them to work together, and I'm going to hit play on the track I've been demoing PAs on here on the balcony recently, Get the Message by Electronic. And the volume control on the side of here allows me to pump this up. I've got everything set here to a nice loud level so we can get a real sense of what it sounds like. Let's have a road test. Quite enough in a residential area, as I always like to say. Look, it sounds great. Now I'm right next to the speakers here. Clearly your ears are going to struggle to separate the tops from the bass cabinets when you're that close. I've actually set this up and stood all the way over there at the far end of the balcony where everything just blends together fine. And it sounds really, really nice. Professional sound, lots of crisp highs there. No EQ at all, no even pretense of an EQ going on in this unit here. There's no app that you can use to adjust that. You get out of it what you put into it. So you're going to be EQing on your DJ mixer, or preferably on a live mixer between your DJ controller or mixer and this unit to get it perfect and to adjust it as you go along. But look, these are really nicely made, very, very simple to use, genuinely innovative, with a wireless system that brings me to the final part of all of this. What's the latency like, and can you actually DJ over it? So here is where it gets a little bit nuanced. I've tested this before, don't need to test it again, don't need to bring a DJ controller out, I've done all this. This is the truth. One of these transmitters will give you a feed for 2 speakers. Now that could be a top, it could be a bass cabinet, 2. At 19 milliseconds, which is effectively nothing, like you will not notice 19 milliseconds. Which is pure, like I can do anything, like playing an instrument, like scratching, whatever, everything's absolutely fine at that kind of latency. It's minuscule. However, if you want to do what I'm doing here and feed 4, which is far more usual, right? Or maybe even only 3, you've got bass in one cabinet and 2 tops. Then you need to switch it out of SKAA Pro and into normal SKAA mode, which gives you 38 millisecond delay. Now that's still very, very good, but it is noticeable. So if you're a scratch DJ, if you're a finger drummer, that's not going to cut it for you. Any other type of DJing, including beat mixing, including the stuff we all get up to normally, including talking on a microphone, any of that stuff, you've got no problem at all at 38 milliseconds. Bluetooth's like 100 to 200 minimum. So we're talking very, very small, fine margins here. However, that's the truth. If you are a real performance DJ that needs complete millisecond accuracy, Jazzy Jeff would spot it, for instance. Me, I'm completely fine with 38. So just be aware that one of these transmitters will do your full setup like this, but you just might notice it a little bit. I would say, honestly, it's the kind of thing that you forget pretty much instantly if you're DJing the way I DJ, which is ultimately the way most of us DJ. Most of us are not relying on that kind of precision. However, you must know that. You could, of course, buy 2 of these transmitters and use the through to stack them, wire them together, and then get 19 milliseconds off to the speakers. Which brings me on to the final point, the cost of these. Because they are reasonably priced, they're extremely well made, utterly professional gear, you know, proper covered wooden cabinets and all that stuff, nice big thick feet, and also the sound quality, the metal grills, everything's built to a professional standard, but they're not the cheapest. So I think the subs are about 800 each, this is all in dollars, and I'm going to guess that these are about 600. As always, I forget the exact details. However, they're all in the written review where we'll keep them updated. So do look underneath this video to click through and find that. So it's kind of a medium priced small PA system. What you're paying the extra for, unlike some PAs which are battery powered, is also getting great wireless, because honestly, the other battery powered PAs I've tried, which of course are all about convenience, they're all about not having to worry about setting stuff up. They all require some combination of wiring the subs to the tops, because Bluetooth won't feed everything. Obviously, Bluetooth is no good for DJing, but DJs like to have background music and all that kind of thing, so they like that wireless element to it. Or they just haven't cracked the simplicity factor. You know, you need to get an app in order to get everything working properly. You need to get everything networked together with Bluetooth on your phone just to get it going, even though you don't actually want to use Bluetooth for anything else other than getting the damn stuff going. This is ridiculously simple. And there's where the innovation is. They've thought very hard about this newish SKAA wireless system and this new PA system, and it shows. If I was going out to DJ anywhere with like maybe 50 people outdoors or 100 people indoors, and I just wanted something I could take with me and set up quickly and break down quickly, I think I would take this over anything else I've ever tested. It certainly innovates more than anything I've tested in the last 10 years, which is saying something. So it is the SKAA Pro from Dillinger Labs, Death from Above and Death from Below, and we've been testing a pair of each here today, including the accessories from Dillinger Labs like this pole here, and of course the Danny transmitter in order to get it all working. Have you got this? Have you tried this? Do let me know in the comments underneath what you think of it. Is wireless a fad? Would you much rather wire everything together for reliability? I would love to know. And one of the questions we get asked a lot by DJs is, how do I plug my controller into a PA system? These are the kind of questions that we answer in our all access training, which doesn't only cover the technical side of DJing, which we call gear, which also includes software, but it also covers music, where to get it, how to organize it, how to prepare it for your gigs, mixing, what to do with that music on the gear that you've got, performing, everything you need to know about performing as a DJ, and success, where to take it from there. So many ways to DJ nowadays, so many places, so many styles, live streaming, podcasting, playing for your friends, making mixtapes, etc., etc. DJing is much bigger than the club nowadays. This will get you to all access, where you can get all of that training, and there's more ways than ever to get our all access training. Now you can subscribe, you can buy, there's payment plans. We want you to have this training because it's helping DJs just like you get the most from this wonderful hobby and from gear like this, so go and check that out. Meanwhile, for me, Phil, here on the Digital DJ Tips balcony, get good, get out there, make the moments, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.